You sure you can handle this? You know what happened to the last guy.
Relax, man. I can handle this.
All right, but don't mess around. Get in and get out. You got me?
I got you, fam.
Hello Tarantula lovers, I'm Alex and welcome back to Tarantula Haven. In this video I am continuing the pairing of the males that I received from nature's exquisite creatures. I'm going to be pairing my Psalmopoeus cambridgei, commonly known as the Trinidad chevron. This video is a little bit bittersweet because there's some bad news at the end. I've got pretty good experience with Psalmopoeus cambridgei and I've had great success with pairing them. My oldest female, Meg Mucklebones, has given me 3 good egg sacs and she's been a wonderful mom, but she looks like she's pretty close to a molt, so I decided to give her a break. Plus I wanted to try something a little bit different. In my experience, Psalmopoeus cambridgei seem to be very gentle with each other when pairing, and they have a reputation of being very easy to breed. At least that's been the case with Meg Mucklebones. She's always been very gentle to the males, and the males have been very gentle with her, and the pairings have always been very easy. So I'm going to put this to the test by pairing this male with another female. Now, this female did come to me with a name. Her name is Arrow, and I believe it has something to do with My Hero Academia, which is something that he had kind of a theme going with his tarantulas. So I did look it up. I did some research. I don't watch the anime personally, but I saw that there was a character that does use a bow and arrow and has green hair, so I'm assuming it has something to do with that, but I'm not sure. But that's beside the point. Let's see how Arrow does with this male and see if she's just as gentle as Meg Mucklebones. I have to say, as far as males are concerned, this is probably one of the most relaxed males I think I've ever dealt with. He just casually strolled out on top of her enclosure and waited for me there until I was ready. Some people think the male P. cambridgei are ugly, but I think they're really cool looking because they have those long, spindly, pipe cleaner looking legs. I also expected this male to run around the enclosure and maybe bolt, but he just casually strolled wherever I nudged him, and he seemed to know exactly what he was doing once he got to the entrance of the enclosure. I think he sensed her really fast. Don't get me wrong, I love tarantula cribs enclosures, but I am not a huge fan of their arboreal enclosures because they don't have a top opening lid. Because of this, I probably would never put a pokey in this type of enclosure. Now, this is probably the most tense part about pairing a tarantula is the introduction. And it seems like, as you can see, that she is pretty well receptive of him. So he's going to move himself into position so he can get started. And there was a whole lot of this tapping and touching and playing around, so I kind of sped up the footage a little bit to keep it from being so boring. And I pause this here so you can get a good look at the epigastric furrow, and notice that she is not opening her epigastric furrow as some people think they do. She will present herself, but the epigastric furrow doesn't open until he manipulates it. Here you see the fangs come out, and this is normal behavior. They usually do this right before he rears her back for insertion. And there's the lunge, and you can see that he's working down there, and I wish I had a better angle, but I couldn't get a good view of it. And he is definitely inserting with both pedipalps. So here's another look of the epigastric furrow, and I could not see very well through the webbing, so I'm not really 100% sure that I could see anything open at all. And this is probably the second most tense part of pairing, because you never know if she's hungry and she wants to go ahead and eat him, or if they are going to couple again. And here's another look at the epigastric furrow, and from what I can see, it looks like it might be open just a crack, but it looks like she's already closed it up. And I am not 100% sure that he did get insertion. I do feel like he did, because he spent plenty of time down there and everything looked right, but I'm just not 100% sure because I don't see the epigastric furrow open. And he's just casually strolling away like he came in, and this leads me to believe that he is done and that he was successful in his goal. And there's the epigastric furrow again. Again, I'm still not 100% sure, but it does look like it's open a little bit. And just look at that beautiful round booty, and hopefully in about a month she'll produce a beautiful healthy egg sac. That went very well. She was very gentle with him. She did exactly what she was supposed to. She was very well behaved. He did exceptionally well. I was surprised that he found his way in so easily. I thought I was going to have to chase him around the enclosure and kind of force him in that direction. But nah, he just found his way right in there, went straight in, took care of business, and I was worried about him getting out because, of course, the Tarantula Cribs treehouse does not have a top opening lid. But he knew exactly how to get out, went straight out and walked across my desk, and had to retrieve him. But he did exceptionally well. I couldn't believe it. Now, I am not 100% sure that insertion took place. It looked like it did from my angle. It looked like he did what he was supposed to do. She reacted as if he did get insertion. But when I checked the epigastric furrow, I could not see it open. And that is usually the case. It usually stays open for a little while before they close it back up and the females act a little bit uncomfortable. But in this case, it did not look open. It did look at one point like it was open, a little cracked, but not to my liking, not to where I could say, yep, 100% it happened. So I am probably going to pair him again. I do have another female that Jay gave me, so I'm going to try that again and just to make sure that we get something out of it. And that has to do a little bit with the bad news that I have to reveal to you next. So now the bad news. The bad news is that I won't be doing any more pairings with the males that I got from Nature's Exquisite Creatures. And the reason for that is I was going to do it over this past weekend. I was getting ready to breed the green bottle blue. And when I looked in his enclosure, he had expired. He was in a death curl, and I was kind of worried about that. I probably should have paired him sooner. But yeah, he looked like he was, kind of on his way out. He was a little bit sluggish coming out of the vial when I put him in his enclosure, and I was very worried about that. But yeah, he did pass away before that could happen. There's even more bad news. The Orphanacus philippinus, I tried to pair them. I tried 3 different times. Every single time they were showing all the signs that they wanted to pair together, that they were trying to breed. And it was a thing where the female would never fully come out of her hide. So he would get very, very close, and he would get close to insertion, but it just never happened. And it was just so frustrating. And I think that was partly my fault, because I think the enclosure was too small for him to be able to maneuver and back out and lure her out completely. If the enclosure had been bigger, maybe he would be able to bring her out further. But every single time the wall stopped him from moving further back, and she only came out so far. So he could never really get her in position for insertion. So I would wait a bit, try again, wait a bit, try again, same result. And I was going to do a time lapse and just leave them in a larger enclosure and let him have at it and see if he could roam around and maybe manipulate her out of the hide that she's in. But unfortunately, when I went to do it again, he had also passed away. So, I just rotten luck. I didn't think that he was that close to expiring. His enclosure had the moisture. It had everything. I tried to feed him. He did not take any food. So I don't know if it was a natural thing or if it was something that I had done wrong, but I feel incredibly bad because I'm the one that requested this guy to pair him. I was so excited to pair Orphanacus philippinus. She was very excited, Lily of Nature's Exquisite Creatures. She wanted to get some babies out of it, and I feel like I let her down. So, yeah, I've just been having rotten luck with the male getting eaten by by the female LP. We had one success with the Psalmopoeus cambridgei, but unfortunately those are two very common species. And not that Orphanacus philippinus isn't, but I really, really wanted to succeed for her and for myself because that is a species that I really love. And green bottle blues are just, everybody loves them. So that was another thing that I was excited for. And unfortunately, the two that I was the most excited for are the ones that were not successful and I won't be able to do. So, I'm going to be on the lookout for another male, and I'm going to be looking for another Orphanacus philippinus just to see if I can find another one. And I'm hoping to make it up to her somehow by pairing them successfully, even if it's not with her male. So that's something that I have to look for, and hopefully you'll be seeing a video on that very soon. But if I can help out in any way, you should check out Nature's Exquisite Creatures. They have a wonderful selection of tarantulas, and they have lots and lots of isopods to choose from, as well as other invertebrates. And if you use the discount code THAVEN10, you can get 10% off your order. So check out Nature's Exquisite Creatures. Also featured in this video was a tarantula cribs enclosure. That was the large treehouse, the 8x8x12, and that is available on their website. And if you're like me and you don't like an enclosure, an arboreal enclosure that doesn't have a top opening lid, they have addressed that issue and they've come up with a brand new treehouse. It's called the Treehouse Switch, and it does feature a top opening lid as well as a front lid, and it even has interchangeable backgrounds, hence the name Switch, so you can switch those out, which is a really, really cool feature, and that is also available on their website. And if you use the discount code THAVEN10, you can get 10% off your order. So check out tarantulacribs.com for those enclosures. So that wraps it up for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to support this channel, I have a Teespring store where I sell Tarantula Haven merchandise. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. And if you'd like to become a patron yourself, there's a link down below in the description, as well as all the others. Until next time, keep loving them tarantulas.